Canine Vitality, back today in this week's blog, and I wanted to talk to you today about the difference between suppressing disease and actually truly healing from it. Now, there are many of you out there right now who own dogs who've been on a variety of drugs that work by actually suppressing symptoms and the disease process. Now, in the short term, this looks great and brings both you and your dog a great deal of relief from whatever symptoms they've been suffering from. And suddenly, you can both relax again as you think that this crisis is over. But you know what? Here's the thing. While in the short term it might appear that all of a sudden your dog has made a miraculous recovery from those symptoms, inside their body a very different story is actually going on. So today I wanted to share with you how these drugs are actually affecting your pet's health, what true healing really is, and some of the alternatives to this conventional approach. So firstly, what are the most common drugs prescribed to help suppress symptoms and disease? Well, really there are many of them, but one of the most commonly prescribed and well known of these are steroids. Now, these come in a variety of forms. Maybe you've been given Neocort topical cream for a skin rash, while you might have been prescribed macrolone or prednisone internally for your dog's condition for allergies, autoimmune diseases, as well as inflammatory conditions, whether they be acute or chronic. Now, there are other variations of these, but these are really the most common forms given. Other drugs that can suppress include antibiotics and drugs like Apoquel, so these actually also have a bit of a suppressing action too. So what exactly is the action of these drugs? Now, drugs such as steroids work to suppress or subdue symptoms, and while they do this very effectively, what is really happening is that the disease process has now actually been pushed deeper into the body. You see, when your dog becomes unwell and shows those symptoms of any sort of disease, from a natural perspective, we always look at this as the body's way of showing that something is actually out of balance. Now, those symptoms are actually the body's way of actually trying to rebalance by getting rid of toxins and infections, etc. So we actually don't want to suppress the symptoms, but instead we want to find out what's causing them. However, if we use suppressing drugs such as steroids in the long term, it will create an even bigger health issue for your dog. And maybe some of you have actually experienced this firsthand. Now, have you ever had a dog on a steroid medication, say for an itchy rash? When you first start using that steroid, it seems to miraculously clear away the rash, often in hours to days. However, when you stop using that drug, maybe you notice that the symptoms return either straight away or within a short time period. Now, this is because all drugs have been masking those symptoms without actually getting to the underlying cause. And of course, that now means that that relatively minor rash that your dog was suffering from has become a major problem, not only affecting the skin, but it can actually affect other parts of the body as well. Now, it's very easy to think that conventional medications have performed some type of miracle just because they have given this short-term relief from pain or discomfort. But we end up, like I said, pushing that disease deeper into the body as a result of using these drugs that are prescribed specifically for their ability to control or inhibit those symptoms. Symptoms that are the body's natural defense function, okay? So suppression of the disease process can easily lead to increased chronic disease and immune problems, both of which we are seeing together in epidemic levels in our dogs today. So the more that we rely on these drugs, the more likely it is that the disease will seek out other ways of manifesting in your dog's body, therefore becoming more serious and more chronic. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's all very well, Lyndall, for you to sit there and tell me all of this, but you know what? My dog's suffering without these drugs. You might have a dog right now that is relying on one of these suppressing drugs to just get through their day. Maybe they are suffering from an ongoing skin condition where they are scratching and just tearing themselves apart every day to the point of bleeding without this drug. Or maybe they're suffering from one of the many autoimmune diseases like inflammatory bowel disease, lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, the list really goes on. And it's really this drug that is helping to keep them functioning right now. There are hundreds of diseases that our dogs are faced with that are routinely treated using these types of drugs. And you know, having seen many dogs suffering from diseases where these drugs are being prescribed, I can truly understand your frustration and distress as a dog owner. Of course we don't want our pets to suffer. We don't want to watch them suffering at all. And there is a time when these medications can be life-saving in the short term. So while I do not advocate the use of ongoing medications, there can be some value in short-term usage, especially when the condition is life-threatening. But like I said, the problem lies in using them in the long term, and this is where a natural approach can really make the difference. So rather than just suppressing those symptoms, if we use a natural approach that follows the laws of nature, we can work towards true healing, which is very different from just suppressing those disease symptoms. Now, one of the best ways to help the body heal fully and completely is to put into it foods and supplements that actually build health rather than suppress it. So this of course means looking at the most appropriate and anti-inflammatory diet, and for dogs in the great majority this is going to be a raw organic diet. Now I love to prescribe the complete meal to all my clients as the highest quality raw diet. Now in some cases you may need to actually for a short period of time use a lightly cooked natural diet to aid healing and then transition over. Now, in addition to this, we want to focus on a few other principles. So firstly, start by building gut health. This is imperative, and we do that by using bone broth, nourishing herbs and nutrients like slippery elm, glutamine, marshmallow root, licorice root, and quercetin. We want to avoid chemicals like flea tick and worming products and opt for more natural alternatives. And you can click on the link you'll see on the screen to go be taken to our page for natural alternatives to this. We also want to avoid vaccinations, especially where you're dealing with allergy or autoimmune diseases or cancer. And we can use options like titer testing as an alternative. We want to consider a gentle detox plan for our dogs. This is always best done under supervision of any holistic practitioner, and you can read more about my herbal detox formula by going to this link again on the screen, and this is suitable for most pets. We want to reduce stress levels in our pets, and we can use natural herbs and supplements including magnesium. And also herbs such as turmeric, licorice, sarsaparilla, and other anti-inflammatory nutrients including fish oil, hemp oil, coconut oil, digestive enzymes, spirulina, and alpha-lipoic acid can all help to reduce inflammation and help bring relief from some of those symptoms while we're actually building health from an internal perspective. Now, of course, I always suggest you work with a practitioner to help put together a simple plan that can be followed, as it can be pretty confusing to try and really work all of this out on your own, and you can get a bit frustrated. So you run the risk of maybe putting together the wrong combinations and at incorrect doses. It's just much easier to get help. And if you're really struggling right now with your dog's health issue and are looking for answers, I can really assist you with helping to get your dog's body back in balance and work slowly to reduce those medications in a sensible way where possible over time. Please do not ever attempt to stop your medications cold turkey, especially if your dog has been on them long term. This is quite dangerous. And I would love to help you. So you can contact me by going to the details with my email you'll see on the screen there, and send me an inquiry, or you can go to my website at www.caninevitality.com.au. You'll also see that on the screen now. So hopefully you'll see there that there is a difference between suppressing disease by using drugs and building health and moving towards true healing by using or adopting a natural program. Now, I hope you really enjoyed today's post about suppressing disease, and don't forget to like, comment, or share this post. And if you'd like to also subscribe to my YouTube channel to receive all the latest happy, healthy dog tips straight to your inbox, I would love to have you along. I look forward to catching up with you next time in next week's blog. But for now, it's bye for now. I'll catch up with you next time.